All right, let's open it up with something.
Did you just say you open it up?
Yeah, I said you.
Why me, Leonard?
Why me?
Because you're the rowdy tellers one.
I'm not in a good mood today. Okay.
Me neither.
And you're neither. This is going to be
We're having a bad day in our house.
It's going to be a hummer and a dinger. And welcome aboard, everybody. Nice to say hello to anybody who could make it into the chat room on a crisp and cold and rainy Sunday morning. It's better off to just be in your living room and listening to the lady and the legend.
Can I tell you my problem? Or do you want to start out with...
Can I tell you my problem?
Yeah. I figure if I tell you on the air, you'll listen.
Go ahead. I'm your problem.
No.
What's your problem?
My tablet.
Yeah.
It's causing me so many problems. Every time I go... I have a Google document that I use to keep notes of the games and stuff.
Yes.
Okay. And every time I go to the internet from my document, it closes out my document.
Oh, okay.
And
it keeps Chris Gallo open, that's for sure.
And look, your computer just closed out the chat room.
Yeah, all right, go ahead.
Anyway, welcome aboard, everybody. Let's say hi to everybody. Anthony D.B. Miller made a great comment in the chat room, and we really appreciate your comments. It makes us happy when skies are blue.
That's right.
And skies are blue here, aren't they?
Everything is blue here. You know what I'm saying. Yeah, but go ahead. Let's have something good. Okay. Something positive. What can you think
Liam
of?
Hendricks is a great baseball story.
That's a good start. That's a good one. That's great.
So on Friday, he struck out 4 batters in his rehab appearance. He's at extended spring training right now. So they say that he's going to be reevaluated by the White Sox medical. And the White Sox really need something. You think we're having a bad day. Let's talk about the White Sox.
My God.
The White Sox are having a bad year.
They're having a bad time.
They're going to reevaluate him this week and determine but when he's going to begin his official minor league rehab. And this week we should hear a timetable for his return, and he's right on track to come back. So it's exciting to hear this. So that's a positive that we got.
Don't let me just start.
Yes.
What? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You go.
Yesterday the Marlins were 8-0 in run games.
No, they're 9-0.
Yeah.
9-0 in one-run games. That's the magic of the Marlins this year. But they're competitive. And that's the key. They are competitive, however they do it. So let's just open up by getting some our brains involved, okay? I'm going to throw you a question that, I don't know, let's see what the chat room thinks. What is the most shocking development so far this year in Major League Baseball? Now, let's think back. At the beginning of the year, everybody jumped on the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals were the team. Everybody jumped on the Cardinals, right? We all, loved their youngsters. We loved everything, just about everything. This was before the season. I mean, don't forget, they started off with Goldschmidt and Arenado. Then they got Tyler O'Neill and Lars Nootbaar and Nolan Gorman and Brendan Donovan, and, a rookie is a rookie, Dylan Carlson, and everybody jumped on these rookies. Are you surprised that pick a team, the Cardinals turned out to be a terrible team so far? They'll get their act together, perhaps, but let's call the Cardinals. Which is the most shocking? The St. Louis Cardinals, now the Chicago White Sox.
I don't know how you could put the Cardinals and the White Sox in the same question.
Everybody, I just told you why. With all the young players, and everybody loved the youngsters, and none of the youngsters have panned out. The White Sox, I thought the White Sox for the second year in a row would be terrific. Let me ask you a question. All right, so you got the White Sox and the Cardinals. Before we continue, do you think the White Sox are going to have a fire sale? I mean, all of a sudden...
Yeah, they need to fire sale their manager.
Ozzie Guillen, right?
No.
There's a lot of talk now about Ozzie Guillen. His name alone stirs up excitement.
I love it.
I wouldn't be shocked.
But I already know how the media will treat him.
No, I don't care.
The White Sox do care, and they're not going to have Ozzy back because the world that we live in is too fragile for Ozzy Guillen.
I don't know. All right, so.
But here's the thing. Let's narrow it down to which is the most shocking, the
Shocking.
Pirates, White Sox, or Juan Soto.
Yeah, okay. All right, let's all right.
Let me tell you a little about Juan Soto.
How about the Pirates or Juan Soto? The Pirates doing so great. Juan Soto, last time I looked, he was batting 188. He did hit a home run last night, which brings me on to further questions. But yes, who is the most what's the most shocking development? The Pirates and their success, or Juan Soto and his failure?
Well, I looked back at Juan Soto's history of the months of March and April, okay? So he did hit 300 in 2021 in the months of March and April, but he only hit 2 home runs. And the rest of the time, between 2019 and now, his batting average was like 240, and right now it's 188, and that led me to go look at his batting average on balls in play, which is 217 right now, and that is not normal. So I don't think that this is going to last with Soto, and I absolutely think that the Pirates, who won 11 of 12, they only took 28 games to get to 20 wins.
Right.
They're hitting like crazy. I love this guy that they just brought up after 10 years in the minor leagues.
Oh, that's nothing. But Tommy Johnson says it's the Pirates. Where does Tommy Johnson live? In Pennsylvania, right?
It doesn't matter. I live in New York, and I say the Pirates.
Okay, you say the Pirates.
Well, what do you think?
Over Juan Soto? I think it's Juan Soto.
Did you not just hear what I said, that he is notorious for being bad at the first month of the year?
Major League Baseball teams are notorious for having... I think every team at some point in the season has a winning streak going on.
The Pirates have not started a season this good.
You're not listening to me. Every team has a winning streak. Now, when you have a winning streak at the beginning of the season, it jumps off the page. If this Pirate winning streak was in the middle of the year,
I guarantee you
it wouldn't be the same thing.
Okay.
Would not. It's totally different at the beginning of the year, where you can say that the Pittsburgh Pirates are in first place. Juan Soto turned down $500,000 a year, or something like that.
$500 million.
$500 million, whatever it is. A big contract to bat 188
in the first month.
But he hit a home run last night. So
everybody hit a home run in Mexico City.
Do you think that last night's home run is going to be the springboard for Juan Soto?
I hope so. Machado hit 2 home runs last night.
Do you agree that people should jump right now? Jump on the Juan Soto bandwagon. Take a look at your league. Find out who's got Juan Soto and make him and blow him away with an offer. Do you agree?
I don't think anybody should sell Juan Soto at all. So I think anybody that tries to get Juan Soto right now is going to try to just make themselves look dumb, because they're going to offer somebody that's not even close to what Juan Soto is going to do. And, I could be wrong with that, but look at his history. His history says that he starts the season off a little slow. His batting average on balls in play is 217 right now. The whole Padres team is off to a slow start. But I think that the one good thing about baseball in Mexico City yesterday was that the Padres started hitting, and there's nothing better for a team than momentum. So with Machado 2 home runs, him a home run, Nelly Cruz a home run. There was 10 hitters with a home run yesterday in Mexico City. What a joke.
You think Malpal will ever go to a game in Mexico City?
No, I know this for sure.
He was so critical, and I agree. You want to play in Mexico City? That's fine. Play exhibition games in Mexico City. Don't play Major League games in Mexico City. Yesterday was a prime example. And Malpal made a comment that I'll keep a secret unless you want to find it in the chat room somewhere. But he's right. Mexico City and other places where the game has a potential of becoming weird, you play those in spring training. Anybody agree?
Yeah, I don't like the MLB globalist idea.
Right. Okay. So I say that the White Sox are going to have a fire sale. Everybody is going to be put on the trading block, and I will predict, and I know you think that this is just a game. I go on record by predicting that Ozzie Guillen once again becomes the manager of the Chicago White Sox.
I pray for that day.
I
I'm going
know-
to actually put that on my prayer list tonight. I'm
I
going to
didn't
pray.
know you have a prayer list.
Every night I pray.
Have I been in the prayer list?
All the time, Leonard.
What are
You're
you
on
praying
that.
for?
Health and
Oh, okay. That's all.
well-being.
I pray, but you never put out. All right. Anyway. But anyway,
You just make shit up.
I make shit up. All
Anyway.
right. So there you. And what-
Easton McGee did good yesterday for the Mariners. He was called up. I have a little bit to say about him. I grabbed some numbers for
Easton McGee. Where'd you just get Easton McGee from?
Oh, I skipped Trey Turner.
Well, you
He's
know
in the
what?
next
The Easton
tidbit.
McGee thing is that he came in.
He's a starting
substitute-
pitcher for the Mariners.
I didn't know Chris Flexen wasn't starting.
Why wouldn't you? He started the season in the bullpen. He got a chance.
I don't know. I think they.
He sucks.
Okay, there were two
But Kikuchi's still good, Leonard.
two no-hit bids of 6 innings last night. And you're right. Easton McGee, whoever he is, for the Mariners, was one. And Fat Boy.
Stop talking shit about Lance
Lance
Lynn's weight.
Lynn, okay?
Look,
And both
you
teams-
talk about Lance Lynn's weight, and what does he do? He goes out there and just crushes it. Can you imagine? No, seriously. The freaking other team yesterday,
Yeah.
because Lance Lynn took his no-hit bid into the 7th inning. Can you imagine sitting there as Lance Lynn and watching the other team score 12 runs in an inning?
Unbelievable. Both teams ended up losing. It's crazy. It's the first time 2 Major League Baseball teams allowed no hits through 6 innings and lost on the same day. Now, it happened in 1983, the White Sox and the Cleveland Indians.
So you talk crap about Cardinals, too. You say that the Cardinals are such a disappointment and all
Yes.
this, but they actually entered yesterday as baseball's best hitting team against left-handed pitchers.
Yeah.
Clayton Kershaw crushed them.
Against-
I'm so proud of my trade for Clayton Kershaw right now.
Right.
Clayton Kershaw, dude, in the National League ranks 1st in wins, 4th in ERA, 1st in innings pitched, 1st in whip, and 4th in strikeouts.
He has absolutely dominated Clayton Kershaw.
And he's the only pitcher this season.
Wait. That's not how you bring it.
I-
The question is, name the pitcher this season with 6 consecutive games of 6 or more innings pitched. Name the pitchers. There's only one. It's Clayton Kershaw. You blew it. Come on, pay attention.
Oh, suck on it.
It's all right. That's one of the things I dream of. I wish for. All right. Anyway,
Bobby Miller.
Just hold on a second. Hold on a second. We talked about Juan Soto slumping. What about nothing is said about Trey Turner? Now that's a shocker. So many of us had Trey Turner as a number 1 pick. Trey Turner, first pick in the draft. Trey Turner. I think he'll be fine.
I think these sports media vultures are making too much out of Trey Turner's slump. He's 4 for his last 34, but the guy's been hitting like crazy. He's just fine.
Yeah, he'll be fine. But still,
He is just fine.
It's a bit of a surprise. Speaking of surprises, wow, we got some surprises. Anthony D.B. Miller, nice to see you. Boston Paul, Chris from Cambridge, Chris from Gallo, Daniel Ferrara, and I harassed...
Daniel, I'm so glad you're here. Let's talk about
Wait
Ozzy.
a second. I got to say hello to Dirty Eck, who
Hey,
I
Dirty Eck.
absolutely smothered him on Facebook.
What, trying to get him to come
Yeah,
here?
getting him to come to the chat room.
Dirty Eck used to do a show here. I hope he comes back. He
I
can
hope
still
so,
do a
too.
show.
James Caprion, Leonard Donaldson is here, Laura Malpal, post 1958, the Rotorius SM King Turd,
And
Tommy
Turd Jr.
Johnson, and Bill Schneider is here. Woo!
Don't
There
forget
you go.
Turd Jr.
Who?
Turd Jr. He's 4.
Oh, Turd Jr., yes, of course. Turd
Okay,
Jr.
and Bobby Miller. He
Yes.
had a season debut yesterday. The Dodgers, he's a Dodgers prospect. He pitched 3 1/3 innings, retired 8 straight until he had this 11-pitch plate appearance that resulted in a walk and brought him to his pitch limit, which was 55 pitches, but 34 out of 55 were strikes.
Wow, did he look good?
8 pitches above 100.
8 pitches above 100 miles an hour in the first inning of the year.
But he's at Double A, right? Is that
Well-
right? He made his debut either at Triple A or Double A.
Oh, he did?
Oklahoma City Dodgers.
I didn't catch that, okay?
Yeah, he's a prospect.
Yeah, but he averaged almost 100 miles an hour.
Ask me how much I care about velocity.
7.
Hey, it's Dawn.
It's Dawn. Tell her we're on the air.
Hey, Dawn.
So he averaged 99.
We're on the air right now. Do you want to come to the chat room, or I'll call you back after the show?
7 strikes, and he was pretty good. So keep an eye out on Bobby Miller.
Wait, are you okay? What happened?
Bobby Miller. Andrea just had to take an emergency call. Okay, so she'll be back. In the first Major League team, Tampa.
Are you at Newark Airport?
Hold on a second. Where is she? She here? Tampa, first Major League team to score 12 or more runs in a game after having no hits, no runs over the first 6 innings. The Red Sox did it in 1938. Angie may have to go. I have a feeling she's on her way to the airport. Okay? To pick up her friend. Just got a call from Andrea's friend who we visited in North Carolina, and for some reason, she's here. Not doing well. The Rays, they're 23-5.
And then I'll call you back. You'll probably be on the plane, but call me as soon as you land.
Hold on a second. Let's find out what's going on. One of the great stories in sports. Hard to imagine any team playing better. Okay? Remarkable. All right, what's going on with your friend?
Dawn's dad is dying in the hospital.
Oh, my. Oh,
Okay.
And is she in New York?
She's in Newark right now, but she's taking a flight. Anyway, we'll talk about it after.
All right.
All right.
They need 12 to
Where
win.
are we?
They need to win 12 in a row to equal their 35-5 start.
So the White Sox played against the Rays yesterday. Lance Lynn, Daniel, this is for you. Let's talk the White Sox for a second. It's got to be time to get rid of this manager. You talk about having a fire sale. Luis Robert barely ran to first base yesterday, and if he's not actually injured, then there's no excuse for it. And they say that they pulled him out based on a managerial decisions because he didn't hustle to first base.
Thinking and pop, that's garbage.
But then you see him in the dugout, and he's just pouting and cursing. He's pissed
Yeah,
off.
he's pissed
The whole
off.
team is pissed off. But I'd like to hear from one of you people that tried to blame Tony La Russa for all of this crap. This team is so demoralized, and they're not playing the game up to their, they have a lot of talent on this team.
Well,
Lance Lynn, the announcer, apologized. Look, there's a lot of pitchers that pitch overweight that are just fine.
Well,
Remember,
White Sox,
Sabathia pitched great overweight.
Okay, the White Sox lost 31 of their last 43 games. 31 of 43.
Yeah.
And you talk about Luis Robert. Do you have any idea how bad he is?
Yes, I do, Leonard.
5 for 54 in his last 14 games. He was my number one offensive guy.
I know.
This year, Luis Robert.
Because he doesn't have mound presence. You know what I mean about that.
Well,
he doesn't have resilience.
The question is, do you go after Luis Robert right now?
Are you kidding me? They don't even throw him fastballs anymore. They know he can't hit anything.
Oh, that's right. You're right. 5 for 54 in his last 14 games, 2 RBIs, 20 strikeouts, and you put him together with Eloy, who's 8 for 49 with 3 RBIs and 17 strikeouts. This White Sox team.
Can you imagine how Ozzie Guillen would have acted if Luis Robert didn't hustle to first base?
Oh, I'll tell you.
I can tell you right now, it wouldn't have happened.
Ozzie Guillen is going to be the manager of the White Sox.
Only 2 teams in baseball history have lost more than 120 games. Right now, the White Sox are on pace for 41 and 121 losses. They lost their 10th straight game, 12-3. They are 7-21. And I already told you about Luis Robert. The word is that, he looked like he actually might have hurt himself, but the word is that the manager decided that he wasn't hustling and he took him out. They got a 9 game losing streak. That's all there is to it. The White Sox are falling apart at the seams.
You have a Major League Baseball player dogging it during a 9-game losing streak, and that, I'll tell you...
Pissed off.
And then he makes believe that he hurt himself.
No, he didn't. No, that was just an assumption because of the way that he was running. He looked like he might have hurt himself. I think he might have hurt himself. But regardless of that, the manager didn't admit that he hurt himself. He'd rather go out in public and tell the world that Luis Robert isn't hustling, so he took him out by punishing him. He's trying to save his job. But if there's ever been a time in history for a manager to be canned, it's this guy. He got ejected twice from a guy that hasn't ejected anybody since 2021. 2 consecutive games, part of this losing streak. Their team is hurting under this manager.
And by the way, the Tigers played a doubleheader. If you're looking for a closer, now, am I right? I was going to look it up. Did I drop Alex Lang?
No, you own him.
I do own him?
Yeah, he's not available in any of our leagues. I already looked.
Okay, but I just put him in the reserves.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure because he's still available. You better check your stuff today before it goes through tonight.
Alex Lang is a major league closer. 10 different players. I'll tell you.
Yesterday.
What do you think it's going to get Malpal to go to a game in Mexico? Okay.
Like never.
10 different players homered in the game in Mexico, including Manny Machado, homered twice. That's the most players with a home run in a game in Major League Baseball history.
Nelly Cruz loves it there. He'll go play there any day of the week. There was 27 runs scored in Mexico City. I got a text from Malpal in the 3rd inning. He said he started rambling about 7,200, and I was like, what is he talking about, 7,200? He goes, 7,200 feet, and he's telling me he's not watching baseball for a week. I said, what 7,200 feet, Colorado? And he said, no, it's like 1,500 feet above Colorado, and the balls are just flying out of the park.
It's crazy.
There was 5 home runs in the 3rd inning.
Come on, only exhibition games.
But I do think, like I said earlier, I think that the one good thing about this game to me is that these hitters in San Diego might have been able to turn it on now. There is momentum when they come back. And Machado was slumping, Soto slumping, Nelly Cruz, he was not doing as bad.
So do you think that Soto is going to emerge now?
Yes, absolutely.
This is a spark point for Soto to emerge.
I told you, March and April are not good months for Soto.
Yeah. Now, Minnesota won the 1991 World Series. Since then,
I talked about this yesterday, Leonard.
What does that mean? Everybody?
No, but you tell it. I'm sorry.
Since then, Minnesota teams have made the playoffs 50 times in all the leagues. Baseball, football, basketball, hockey. No other metro area team has even had 30 playoff trips to the playoffs.
The oldest player with the Nelly Cruz raised his batting average by 56 points. He's hitting .306 right now.
Who's the oldest player with a home run and a stolen base in a game? The oldest player
since 1901.
Since 1901, with a home run and stolen base in any game. Name the player. Anybody want to give it a shot? I don't know. You talked about Drew Maggi,
That's a
right?
tough one, Leonard.
Well, it was...
Ricky Henderson did it at 43 years old.
Julio Franco is the oldest player.
Right? By only 100 days.
All right, whatever it is. Now, Cleveland and Boston went 10 innings. They played 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 innings.
10 innings.
Drew Maggi, the Pirates' the 33-year-old rookie who spent 13 years in the minors, he finally got his call up earlier this week, and he hit his first major league. He got his first major league hit and RBI yesterday. I like this guy. I know it's a great time for him. I like the Pirates in general and what they're doing. What fun. It's already fun to go see the Pirates because the ballpark itself is the best in baseball. The parking is affordable. The tickets are affordable. The people there are friendly. It was just such a wonderful experience in Pittsburgh. Now that they're winning, I bet the crowd is going crazy. The fans deserve some shit like this.
Dr. Dennis Timko and his
Aiden
protege. The great Aiden Timko.
I saw Aiden playing the piano.
In the chat room, yes, indeed. Let's see.
That kid is so cute.
We got SM King Turd. We got a nice crowd in the chat room. So thank you all for joining us, okay? So with today's walk-off win, listen to this.
Verdugo did that, by the way.
The Boston Red Sox have now beaten the Cleveland Indians franchise, not the Cleveland Guardians, the Cleveland, 1,000 times in the history of Major League Baseball. How
You're not
about
supposed
that
to
one?
say Indians. Lou.
Okay. And since the pitching rubber was set at 60 feet 6 inches, 23 teams have allowed 1,000 runs in a season. The last being the Rockies back in 1999. Only the 1899, I think it was the Cleveland Spiders. The point is, Oakland A's are on pace to allow 1,300 runs. That is absolutely incredible. Okay? I'm gonna ask you some questions.
I know, and you're gonna put me in a situation where I'm gonna have to tell you an overall answer for this because
No, I want an answer on each player. All right, do you sell high on Matt Chapman? Not to be a big deal. Do you sell high on Matt Chapman?
no.
Do you? No.
How do you sell high on Brian Reynolds?
He's not even high.
Right. So how do you sell high on him?
Because he's still got the name because of the trade thing.
So basically, you're saying to sell high on players. You know, I'm definitely not selling high on DeSclafani. Are you selling high on Kikuchi?
No. Well, it depends.
Does sell high even exist?
Right. Here's the overall answer.
Sell high is a ridiculous idea.
And buy low. Lewis, do you buy low on Lewis Robert? Here's one for you. Do you buy low on Julio Urias?
How you're not going to buy low on Urias?
You buy low and sell high.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't even matter about the player. These are all established players. But it's about the categories they provide and the categories that you're giving up. That's what it's all. People in this fantasy industry, they don't get it. Chapman, Reynolds, Anderson, Kikuchi. If you could afford to give up what they provide in categories, sell them. If you could afford to, if you need somebody who's got the category, the Robert Urias, get him. So that's what buy low, sell high is.
Buy low and sell high is a lazy ass writer's idea of putting out fantasy content because number one, there's so many other things that matter. When you buy low on a player or sell high, you have to consider where you drafted this person, and you have to consider, you look at their slumps, fine. Nobody is going to give you what they're worth if they're in a huge slump. Nobody is going to give you what Juan Soto is worth right now. And if you're willing to give up on him, you're taking a huge risk that it's not going to pay off in your favor. I agree with Lenny about the categories. You always need to put first the categories that you need. But this part of the season, when people say buy low and sell high, all it is complete laziness because there's so much more to trading than just saying, okay, sell high on all of these players that we know are mediocre, but they're doing well right now, or buy low on all these players that we know are great, but aren't doing very well right now. It's so easy to come up with buy low, sell high, but there are so many more points and mechanics of trading that it's just lazy. It's lazy. It's
now,
pure laziness.
The entire chat room for days has been talking about the Arizona Diamondbacks' top pitching prospect. Only problem is, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Do you?
Brandon Pfaadt.
Fat? Is that how to pronounce it?
Yeah, I can't really pronounce a D and a T together, so I just make it silent.
Yeah, okay, Brandon Pfaadt. And we know that everybody says, why are they passing him up? They're going to have to give their top prospect a call. They released Baumgartner. They optioned Dre Jameson. Zach Davies is still on the injury list. So they can only go with a 4-man rotation so long. What's his name? Brandon Pfaadt.
Yeah, the thing is, he was on the list of waiver wire pickups yesterday, and I didn't include him in my podcast because I couldn't even get him last week.
You couldn't pronounce his name, that's why.
No, I couldn't find him available in any of my leagues last week. So I said he's not really available in a lot of leagues, and he does have a 3.91 ERA right now in AAA. After 25 innings, he's allowed 24 hits and struck out 30. But in the last 2 weeks, he is really turning it on. 12 innings, 13 strikeouts, a 2.25 ERA. And yes, the biggest note here is that they need him to come up because they don't have a full rotation. They just got rid of Madison Bumgarner and they got other issues. Dre Jameson is back down in the minors. That's for probably timetable reasons. But You know what I mean? Brandon Pfaadt is a great ad. If he's available in any of your leagues, that's great. But he's not available anywhere I play. So
Now, let's pat each other on the back. Name the Philadelphia Phillies who's got the highest F4 through 27 games. Name the Philadelphia Philly player with the highest F4 through 27 games.
Brandon Marsh.
Brandon Marsh.
Except for that's only because Castellanos didn't start the season
All
great.
right, but
He'll
still,
be there in a second.
Brandon Marsh. Nobody knew.
And Harper's coming back.
Maybe Dirty Eck knew who he was, but Brandon Marsh is
Anyway,
the
the game was postponed yesterday. Okay, the Mets game was postponed,
Yeah.
and it was clear that it was going to rain the whole time. So I don't know why they waited so long, but that means that Max Scherzer is no longer eligible to return from his suspension until Tuesday instead of Monday. He was going to get to pitch against the Braves, and now he's going to go against Detroit because the Braves-Mets game is rescheduled as part of a split doubleheader all the way in August.
Right. Okay. Look at these. Look at the divisions. The American League East has a winning percentage of .636. Central 389. The West 447. It's the entire American League East is playing at a 103 win pace. The entire American League Central is playing at a 63 win pace.
Yeah, I read yesterday that the American League East, every team has a positive run differential.
Yep. Now,
Mauricio Dubon, this guy was on the waiver last weekend.
no kidding.
Yeah, I bid on him, but I didn't get him. I bid a lot, too, but I still didn't get him. Anyway, I don't know who put him on the waiver wire. Maybe it was an accident, but he had a 20-game hitting streak. Yesterday
Well, Altuve should be coming back pretty soon.
But Dubon can play other places.
Yes, he can. Outfield especially.
And yesterday he went 0 for 4, and he broke his 20-game hitting streak.
Interesting thing about Ronald Acuna.
Yeah.
And we've been very critical.
No, you.
I have.
You're critical of the WBC.
We've been very critical, but Acuna so far looks like he's the best player in baseball over the first month. After playing in winter ball and the WBC.
Yeah, well, he was, he's still coming back from injury, so you could look at his work ethic, right? I mean, Acuna clearly loves to play the game of baseball, and I'm happy to see what he's doing, and all of you people out there that think that, send these players home from the World Baseball Classic because they're not getting ready for the season. Oh, bull dinky. They're getting ready for the season better than anybody in spring training, and they're playing in competitive teams for their country, which is a beautiful, patriotic thing, Leonard.
Yes, it is. Now, the Mets have a bunch of rookies that everybody's talking about. Remember? Our rookie is a rookie. Brett Batty and Alvarez made very hard contact over Max Fried the other night.
Yeah, they're hitting the ball hard.
Yeah. So,
but here's the thing. Alvarez, I don't care how hard he hits the ball if he strikes out 40% of the time. Mm-hmm. And Alvarez, he has been playing lately, and I will give him credit where credit is due because he started out the season, the last 21 days overall since he's been up to the majors, he's batting 190. But over the last week, he's batting over 300. So maybe Francisco Alvarez has figured it out. I like what he's doing. I don't expect him to continue batting 300 at all, but it's okay. As hard you can hit the ball 200 exit velocity, and it won't matter in fantasy unless you stop striking out half the time you're at the plate.
And Mark Vientos is someone that people are talking about.
Yeah.
He's improved the strikeout rate. The first 12 games of the year, he was striking out about 31%. Now he's down to he's striking out less than 15%. If he could keep that up, it's going to be difficult for the Mets to hold him back.
So I went to look at Vientos, and I noticed that he's the DH, right? He does play. He played 12 games at first base and 9 games at third base this year. So he plays first, third, and DH. Well, we know Pete Alonso's at first base. Brett Beatty's got third base. the designated hitter spot is probably where they put him. They got Daniel Vogelbach and Tommy Pham as their DH for the Mets right now. And like you said, the last 11 games, he's only striking out 13% of the time. But it's kind of hard to give him all that credit from the first 12 games where he struck out 30.8%. Now he's striking out 13%. That's a huge difference in strikeouts. You can't expect him to continue striking out only 13%, right?
Yes, it is. Crazy. So we'll see, but you could expect to hear from him shortly. And I don't know about when you think you could expect to hear from Jake DeGrom.
Yeah, DeGrom.
Forearm tightness. That's what they say. That could be the precursor to Tommy John surgery.
So,
and that would be terrible.
Well, this is a good news for DeGrom. There's no structural damage so far. But like you mentioned, this type of injury can lead to Tommy John if you're not careful with it. And they say he's probably going to miss, he could miss 2 weeks. He could miss however long it takes where they're secure in the idea that his forearm is not under stress.
Okay.
I love DeGrom.
You love the well,
but you can't be that
does.
Surprised at this.
What about your favorite Diamondbacks closer, Scott Magoo? What's his name? He could be the Diamondbacks closer sooner than later.
This is another lazy-ass comment by some sports vulture.
What? In his last 6 games, 8 innings, he's only given up 2 hits, struck out 7, has not walked anybody.
Right, but first of all, they have Andrew Chafin, and it wouldn't take that much research to find out that Tony Lavulo actually touched on this just yesterday. He talked about this. He said that number one, they're adamant about having closer by committee in Arizona, and they have been for several years. He said that when the situation dictates it, he doesn't have a problem throwing another pitcher in there. You see, Chafin is a lefty, and I know how you feel about left-handed closers, but he says he might pivot away from Chafin if a situation dictates it. He doesn't have a problem throwing Chafin out there if the batters are right-handed, left-handed, and right-handed coming up to bat. But if it's a wall of righties and it's a good matchup for a right-handed pitcher, I would probably go in a different direction. He absolutely is confirming 100% that Scott Magoo is not the closer. Andrew Chafin is not the closer. They'll both get opportunities depending on the situation.
Okay. I still think he's going to get a job as the closer.
Okay.
All right, that takes care of the tidbits of the day. Now, so much great game information. You know, you had the Marlins playing yesterday. We told you they're just a different team. But one of the pitchers, someone who I think you should go out and grab, Edward Cabrera. Now, he struck out a career-high 12 in 5 innings, charged with 2 runs and 3 hits. I got to tell you, Edward Cabrera is a potential star.
Are we on the games now?
Yeah, what show are you listening to?
No, are we doing games?
Games.
Killian is the pitcher for the...
Yeah, Caleb Killian.
Caleb Killian, yeah.
Cubs, right?
Cubbies went 3 1/3 innings, 7 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, and 2 walks. He actually started off looking really good yesterday.
Yeah.
But
is he fantasy relevant?
I don't know. Not until he can pitch more than 3 innings.
I suppose.
But Patrick Wisdom hit a home run yesterday, his 10th of the season.
Uh-huh.
This guy was not even drafted in leagues. Garrett Hampson hit his 4th double yesterday.
Bellinger hit a home run.
And Bellinger, how fun is he?
Wisdom has 10 home runs.
I know.
10 home runs.
Wasn't he fun? Isn't he fun to watch, Bellinger?
Well, he led off the 6th with a solo shot. And
I love Bellinger.
But guess who got the save?
Tanner Scott.
Whoa. Tanner Scott. Yeah. Gave out a 1-out single and then finished with his... I can't talk.
Second save of the season. Tanner Scott is not the permanent closer there, though. Tonight you get to see Justin Steele against Brian Hoeing.
Okay. Cleveland against Boston. And Alex Verdugo drove in the winning run. And that capped a 2-run 10th inning.
Verdugo was on fire yesterday. The fans love him.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you what. He's batting leadoff. And he won the game yesterday. He won the game yesterday, by the way. So it went 10 innings, and it was interesting. I did not think the Red Sox were going to win this game. They were behind a lot. The Cleveland had a lot more momentum than they did, but it was all about Verdugo at the end, and that's how it worked out. Emmanuel Clase did nothing.
But Rafael Devers had a 3-run homer, all right? And then, of course, Ramirez got a single off of Kenley Jansen.
And that was his first home run that he gave up.
Okay.
Kenley Jansen gave up his first home run of the season.
First blown save and first run allowed this season by Kenley Jansen.
Oscar Gonzalez, what did he do?
He didn't do much, but I'll tell you somebody who did something, who had a potential, and that was Brian Bello. He had trouble with the nail on his index finger, had a blister, gave up a run on fire. I'll tell you, the Red, no wonder King Hap's not here, right? And Tristan Casas, that's not how you pronounce it.
He had the day off. Yeah, that's right. Tristan Casas.
He's batting 133, 75.
He's having a rough start.
Wow.
Now, Zach Plesac, we talked about him yesterday, and we talked about the next pitcher that's coming up to replace him because he is no good.
Okay, who's coming up?
I forget the name. I know, I should have it in front of me. I forgot the name, but basically he's coming up when the...
Oh, BB? He's up already.
He's up already.
He's up already. I know Tristan McKenzie threw a bullpen session yesterday for the Guardians, so he'll be coming back soon. That's for sure. And
maybe Bybee was it. Maybe Bybee was it.
Chris Sale gave up 5 runs in 5 innings at Baltimore on Monday. He'll be up.
He's going to pitch against Logan Allen.
Yep, that's pretty good. And guess who hit a home run yesterday?
Andujar.
In both games. Andujar homered in both games. Will he get a chance? Frazier's back, signing with the White Sox. Andujar's back. Are you kidding me?
Who's Call? What's his first name? Call. He's batting leadoff. That's what I noticed.
Oh, I didn't see that.
For Washington.
Okay.
Patrick Corbin pitched 5 1/3, struck out 2, 3 earned runs on 7 hits. Rich Hill, 6 1/3, 5 strikeouts. He's not horrible. And Bednar got his 9th save yesterday.
Washington is last in the National League East, 9-16, including the National League. They are 2-10 at home.
Velasquez had a good game, his second game.
Yeah, he's pitched finally. How many years have I been touting Velasquez?
6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 5 strikeouts.
Yep.
His ERA is under 4 right now. That's great. But Andujar did. He had his first home run in the first game and his second home run in the second game. And McCutchen, talk about fan favorite.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, McCutchen just is turning it on like crazy.
But the Pirates are coming off of 4 losing seasons.
Yeah.
They're 20-8, first time since 1992. That's when they won the last division title.
Call. Is his name Andrew Adam?
I think so.
Anyway, he stole his second base yesterday, and he's batting leadoff, so he could be somebody to
And
look
Velasquez won his 4th straight. Do you think the Pirates are going to maintain their position?
I hope so.
As a good team.
They have momentum.
Not a championship team. A good team.
Yes, I do.
Dominic Smith homered.
Are we?
So that's a good one.
What are we doing?
We're going to the Seattle-Toronto game.
Okay.
Seattle-Toronto. We already talked about Easton McGee. He took a no-hitter into the 7th inning in his first Major League start. You recommend picking up Easton McGee?
No, I don't. He was called up for the start yesterday, but here's what he did so far this year. Actually, maybe I do. I confused him with someone else. Let me tell you his stats. So far this season at AAA, he's pitched 28 2/3 innings with 26 hits and 24 strikeouts.
Easton McGee, get him. Good.
And a 3.14 ERA.
All right. So Seattle lost its 4th in a row, and weren't they great last year in one-run games?
He has an opportunity right now to secure a spot in this rotation. That's what I know. He was brought up last season for a cup of coffee. He pitched 3 innings, 1 strikeout, and no earned runs. I told you what he did at minor league this year, but it seems that he has a 95, 93 mile an hour fastball, and he doesn't walk a lot of batters. He doesn't allow a lot of home runs at all. Very few home runs allowed. And pitching in Seattle, you can expect that to continue for sure.
Seattle won a lot of one-run games last year, correct?
They were the best for 2 years in a row.
2 years in a row. And what have I said about that?
They're the worst now, right?
It comes back to haunt you. They're 3-9 in one-run games, and they're 0-5 in extra innings. So the Seattle team, forget about it. And McGee was brought up to start. I didn't know Chris Flexen was struggling. They say I don't know. I got to check that out. But
you didn't know Chris Flexen was struggling.
No, I know he wasn't pitching
grief.
great, but I didn't know they just don't have a lot of confidence in him.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle swung and missed 28 times against Gausman.
Gausman had a career-high strikeouts yesterday.
What do you have?
13 or something,
It's
maybe 12.
Yeah, his 54 strikeouts lead the majors.
That's great.
On the season. Okay. What else you got?
We got a doubleheader with Baltimore and Detroit.
Yep. Mac Vierling, who I picked him up. 3 hits, 4 RBIs. The Tigers beat Baltimore 7-4. And Zach Short, 3 for 4 with a home run.
Baltimore lost for only the second time in 11 games, and the Tigers improved to 2-12 against AL East opponents this season. Grayson Rodriguez allowed 1 run on 4 hits and 2 walks in 5 2/3. He struck out 6. He's actually 2-0 with a .68 ERA in his last 4 starts. Orioles starter Dean Kremer gave up 5 runs on 11 hits and 2 walks in 6 innings. The one positive about Dean Kremer is that he's throwing 6 innings now. That's the second outing that he's had at 6 innings.
Good. By the way, are we allowed to talk about this with Eddie Heckman not being in the chat room?
Well, we have to. That's what we do.
Jorge Mateo.
Santander hit a double.
Can Jorge Mateo be talked about as an MVP if Eddie Heckman's not here? 3-run homer. Baltimore lost for the second time in 11 games.
Right.
Thank you.
Eduardo Rodriguez.
Yes.
He won yesterday again. He's 2-2 now. He did okay. Matt Vierling, 3 hits, 4 RBIs. Zach Short, you already said. 3-run homer for Jorge Mateo. Isn't he the speedy guy? Why is he hitting homers?
Felix Bautista got his 7th save. Yeah, he's...
This is the second game we're talking about now. Baltimore 6, Detroit 4.
Right.
Gunnar Henderson got caught stealing. McKenna hit his first home run. Nevin hit his first home run for the Tigers. And did you tell him what Matt Boyd did?
Oh, yeah, I did. But Grayson Rodriguez was interesting.
Yeah, he's been good.
Second consecutive start against the Tigers, and he still hasn't allowed a run.
Yeah,
against them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on to the Angels in Milwaukee with Corbin Burns coming back to pitch 6 very good innings.
Yes, he did.
Mike Trout hit
Reed
a couple.
Detmers.
What about him?
Oh, come on.
Is that Sam King Turd here?
Yes, he is.
We'll talk about
He
Reed.
already made a comment in the chat room before the show started about Reed Detmers and how maybe he's just a streamer type. But
You think so?
I'm not giving up on him this soon. I know he's been very disappointing. Yesterday, 4 1/3, 4 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, and 3 walks. Devin Williams got his 5th save. And Mike Trout was doing his thing. He hit 2 home runs yesterday. That was great for Mike Trout. Rendon stole a base. Ohtani stole 2 bases. And they still lost.
Bill Schneider, is that possible that they still lost?
They still lost, and they
How about
had
post 1958?
I'll tell you
How you
what,
doing?
the Brewers did nothing of the sort. They had no home runs, no stolen bases, and they still won.
Okay, nice to see Laura in the chat
Jesse
room.
Winker got 2 RBIs. I already dumped him everywhere.
Leonard Donaldson. Oh, by the way, Adrian Hauser is a player to pick up. Okay. He's finished with
I'm just trying to see what's
AAA. He could be activated very soon. And Ohtani, by the way, is 12 for 30 his last 7 games. So just keeps rolling along.
Yeah, what is that, like 400?
Mm-hmm. I'll talk about Kansas City.
Okay.
I like Edward Olivares.
I like Buxton.
Kansas City ended a 9-game losing streak at Target Field. They beat Minnesota 3-2. Olivares is a player.
Hunter Dozier stole his second base yesterday. Olivares stole his second base. Lopez stole his second base. Buxton hit his 6th home run of the season. You just love how here's the thing.
He's doing it very quietly
We
now.
talk about Soto starting the season slumpy. Buxton is the complete opposite. Every year he starts the season on fire. He starts hitting all kinds of home runs, and fantasy managers everywhere are jumping for joy for this guy because he literally keeps you in the running until he gets hurt. Brad Keller was not pitching well yesterday. Even though he only allowed 1 earned run, there was a wild pitch, a hit batter, and certain situations that if you're a Kansas City fan, you were frustrated watching him. Bailey Ober called up to pitch yesterday. 5 2/3, 6 strikeouts, 1 earned run, 4 hits. Scott Barlow 4 save.
And of course, Buxton homered in the 7th, and Paul skipped off the top of the wall. Whenever that happens, you know Buxton's in for a good season. At Kansas City, jumping on the stolen base bandwagon. They stole 4 bases. First time since April 4th of last year. All right, White Sox.
Oh, here we go. Is Daniel still here?
Is Daniel still here?
Can't stay long ever.
Daniel. What are you doing?
Yes, he's here.
Daniel's here.
All right.
Juan DeFranco led off the 7th, ending Lance Lynn's no-hitter. All right? A Rosarina, 2 home runs. How about that?
Lance Lynn did great. 10 strikeouts, 6 1/3, 2 walks, 4 earned runs. Yanni Chirinos, 4 2/3, 1 earned run, 3 strikeouts. You know, Brandon Lau might be the best leadoff guy in baseball because he hits for power, a lot of power. Right. So, home run, Mejia, a Rosarina, 2 home runs yesterday.
Mejia was supposed to be a good one. I remember I went to a game in the Arizona Fall League just to see him.
Well, he hit his first home run.
Yeah, and he was supposed to be a catcher.
Yeah, he was.
I saw him, and he was playing third base. Then they moved him to left field. There's something about him. I think he can hit. I just don't think he has a position.
Now, Josh Lau, I'm saying his name right now because somebody told me that this is Brandon Lau's brother, right? No, they can't be on the same team. Josh and Brandon on the same team?
I have no idea.
Is that true?
I already said twice. I have no idea. You're asking me a third time.
Well, I'm asking the chat room.
All right, ask the chat room. I know.
Is Josh and Brandon brothers, and are they? And I know they're both on Tampa, so you don't have to tell me that. But Margot stole his third base yesterday. Tyler Wall stole his third base yesterday.
Pick up Lance Lynn, by the way.
Lance Lynn is not available.
Pick him up. He went into Saturday with a 7.5 ERA. Somebody may have gotten tired of him and dropped him.
That's true, but I doubt it.
I wouldn't doubt it.
You have to be pretty...
Somebody would have, with a 7.5 ERA.
Well, usually you bench a guy before you drop him.
Well, maybe they benched him.
Okay.
All right. I know Tyler Glass now threw 2 innings, expected to pitch a third inning.
That's excited. So he's in a rehab stint with Triple-A Durham. He's expected to pitch 3 innings his next outing, and you know what? Glass now is on his way back. That's exciting. We'll see how he pitches with no sticky stuff.
Yandy Diaz came out of Friday's game, but he pinch hit after he came out yesterday.
Benintendi was out of the lineup because he was hit by a pitch the other day. I can't really read anything else.
All right. Yankees in Texas, Nate Eovaldi, 3-hitter. His first big league 9-inning shutout. And Ezekiel Duran hit a 2-run homer. Now, here's the deal.
We got to talk about Jake Bauers.
Well, let's talk about Aaron Judge first.
Because these two are in the same conversation.
Well, Bauers
is activated because of Aaron Judge.
Because his potential. They're going to talk about Aaron Judge. He missed the 2nd straight game. Mild hip strain.
That's what they say.
And yet they're going to evaluate him and see.
Now, if he doesn't go on the IL, that's a good sign in this situation. But they called this Jake Bauers, who hasn't done anything in the majors since between 2018 and 2021. He did jack shit. He worked for 3 different teams. The Yankees signed him to a minor league contract, and he has been just literally tearing it up in the minors. And also, he makes great defensive plays. Yesterday, though, and I was going to say, do take a look to see if Jake Bauers is available in deep leagues. And if you need somebody to fill in for Aaron Judge, now's the time to put this guy on your list. But, hello, big alert here. He hurt his knee yesterday, so Aaron Boone says that he's going to undergo testing on his right knee because he left the game yesterday. He made an amazing catch, one of the best catches we've seen this season. But as I said earlier, in the minors so far at Scranton AAA, in 87 plate appearances, he has 9 home runs, 5 stolen bases, and a .319 batting average just this season.
And let's say a sincere thank you to everybody who's managed to stay with us for the entire 1-hour podcast. Perdomo as Arizona and Colorado. Perdomo homered. He had 3
You like
hits.
this Perdomo?
Not really. I like Christian Walker, who also hit a home run.
Yeah, right? Walker hit a home run.
So
Corbin Carroll was caught stealing, which is amazing because he's hella fast. This game, T. Henry pitched for the Diamondbacks.
Not from a Tommy Henry.
Henry.
Second start.
Second start.
Replacing Baumgartner.
Okay, so why are we calling up...
I'm just telling you, Tommy Henry.
If he continues to pitch good, are we still calling up
maybe
Brandon
not.
Pfaadt?
Maybe not, but we'll see.
All right, caught stealing Corbin Carroll. I don't know why do I keep repeating
And
that?
Randall Grichuk was reinstated, so if you get a chance, get
All right.
Randall
The Rockies
Grichuk.
suck, dude. That's all I got
And
to
the
say
San
about this.
Francisco
Kevin
Sa-
Ginkel's pitching. He's the effector.
San Diego-San Francisco game.
Okay.
You may not be able to get seats for the next game in Mexico. Malpal is buying up the joint.
So
okay?
there was 10 hitters with home runs, but San Francisco only scored one run. No, it was 11-16. Sorry, I was
The
confused.
crowd is only about 19,600.
But it was full,
Unbelievable.
for sure.
And the game went 3 hours and 44 minutes.
And nobody stayed in as a pitcher because they kept like Joe Musgrove lasted 3 1/3. And here's the thing: if you have Machado, you're very pleased today. If you have Musgrove on your team, you're not very pleased. You're not pleased if you have Mateo because this outing in Mexico City screwed these pitchers' ERA and their stats on the season big time. So while it was a great day for your hitters, these poor pitchers were just robbed of anything, and they had no way around it. There's nothing that they could have done to stop these home runs. When you're at an altitude that high, these balls are going out of the park like freaking crazy. I just think they didn't think this through, and it's one of the millions of things that MLB doesn't think through before they do it.
How about this? They didn't think through the Oakland situation. They set a major league record 28 games to start a season without a win by a starting pitcher. Need I say more? Okay, the A's
Hunter Green was good yesterday.
but the A's starters have gone 0-15, surpassing the 2022 Pirates for
Yeah,
the
they're not
longest
good.
streak. It makes baseball terrible.
But Kyle Muller actually did very good yesterday. 5 innings pitched and only 1 earned run. It was Juris Familia that lost the game for the Oakland because they were in a position to get a save, and Juris Familia allowed 2 earned runs in 1 inning, and that means that Diaz got the save, his 4th save for the Reds.
And how do you allow this? Oakland drew an announced crowd of 7,000. 7th time they've been under 10,000.
What do you expect?
And I expect baseball to take charge and get them out of there.
That's what they're doing.
Or do something.
Stop yelling. That's what they're doing.
I'm sorry. All right? They had 6,400, 7,000.
Let's go.
It's bull dinky. Let's get to the Phillies and the Astros. Zach Wheeler.
Zach Wheeler, okay, was good. 6 innings pitched, no earned runs, 7 strikeouts, but he did hit a batter. And then the batter got all testy with him and started coming out after him. And JT Realmuto had to go out there and calm everybody down. And then they're trying to say that Zach Wheeler literally tried to hit this batter. It's so ridiculous. When you're ahead 6-1 and you come out of a game 7 Ks and 6 innings pitched with no earned runs, are you going to try to hit a batter?
And the Astros, they're 6-9 at home. That surprised me. Christian Javier, 3 runs, 7 hits, and
Jeremy
5
Pena,
inches.
another home run, his 6th home run of the season. Castellanos, number 4. And you said Christian Javier. And did you know that Cody Clemens is Roger Clemens' kid?
Yes, I did.
Well, he plays first base.
Okay,
and he's
very good.
doing good filling in for Reese Hoskins. His dad was in the stands yesterday. I think he hit a homer, but he made some good plays defensively, too. So
Okay.
you got to like
Let's
that.
say hi to Bill Shoemaker.
We did.
I'm sorry.
Schneider.
Billy Schneider. I constantly overlook guys in the guest area.
We're almost done, right?
Clayton Kershaw. We talked about him. Didn't allow a base runner
Love Kershaw.
until the 5th inning. 16th year on a 1-year deal. Kershaw is just, we don't have to say. Jordan Montgomery, 2nd straight hard luck game. The Cardinals have lost 5 out of 6.
Jordan Montgomery, it did get hard luck because he got 0 run support from 0. I mean, this team got 5 hits the entire game. They struck out 10 times. No, They struck out 11 times and got 3 hits in the entire game. You look at their hitting stats and you see absolutely nothing. No doubles, no triples, no RBIs, no nothing. 0-1. The Dodgers beat them. Freddie Freeman stole 2 bases.
2 bases.
For his
First
third.
time.
And so it looks like he's turning things on, right?
Noah Syndergaard goes against Jake Woodford.
And Outman stole a base yesterday.
Let's thank everybody in the chat room for making this broadcast possible. And Dirty Eck stayed here from start to finish. That's why we love him. Thanks, everybody. Anybody got any questions or anything? Once again, Andy, put the phone number in, if you don't mind.
All right.
We're putting the phone number in so you could fail to call us again, okay? I don't know.
They don't need to call us, Leonard.
You don't need to, but it would look, if there's anything that you need help in, trades, waiver wire pickups, it's Sunday. All right, well, we can't put the phone number
I
in.
am. You just have to give me a second, you
All right.
impatient older man. You're an impatient older man.
That's it? Phone number's in?
Yes.
Okay, thanks, everybody. We'll be back again tomorrow at
And happy Sunday.
10 o'clock.
Bye.